Hello there, kids. Welcome back to the Good Stories That's a Fact series. Here's a new fact series that I think we can add more to later. Top 5 historical facts that aren't actually true. Let's get right to it. Number 5. Vikings wore horned helmets. You've probably seen Vikings in movies and cartoons with giant horned helmets charging into battle like angry bulls, but guess what? Vikings never wore horned helmets. Real Viking helmets were simple, made of metal or leather, and definitely horn-free. So, why do we think this? In the 1800s, a costume designer for a Viking opera thought horns would make them look scarier and more dramatic on stage. And since then, the horned Viking has stuck in our imagination. In reality, horns on a helmet would have been a disaster. They'd get tangled, heavy, and easy for enemies to grab. Not very warrior-like. Number 4. People in the Middle Ages thought the Earth was flat. Here's a big one. The idea that everyone in the Middle Ages thought the Earth was flat like a pancake. Sounds funny, but it's not true. People had already known the Earth was round since ancient times. Greek scientists like Aristotle and Eratosthenes noticed that during a lunar eclipse, the Earth's shadow was round. Sailors also saw ships vanish bottom first when sailing away, which only happens on a curved surface. So how did this myth start? In the 1800s, some writers exaggerated the story to make people in the Middle Ages look less scientific and more silly. But in reality, scholars back then were already teaching around Earth in schools. Turns out they were a lot smarter than the rumor suggests. Number 3. Napoleon was super short. You've probably heard jokes about Napoleon Bonaparte being so short he needed a stool to see over a fence. You know Napoleon, right? He was a super famous French leader from the early 1800s, and he was known for being one of the greatest military generals in history. He won tons of battles, crowned himself emperor, and basically made Europe nervous for years. But here's the funny part. People often say Napoleon was really short, like a tiny man with a big temper. The truth? He wasn't short at all. He was around 5 foot 6 inches or 5 foot 7 inches, which was totally average height for men in the 1800s. So why does everyone think he was tiny? Well, first, French and British measurements were different, so when his height was written down, it caused confusion. And second, his enemies, especially the British, started spreading the idea as a joke to make him seem weaker. It worked so well that the short Napoleon myth is still around today. Poor Napoleon, he conquered half of Europe, but he couldn't conquer the rumor mill. Number 2. The Great Wall of China is visible from space. The Great Wall of China, built more than 2,000 years ago during the Qin dynasty. It wasn't built all at once. Different emperors added to it over centuries. The main reason? To protect China from invading armies, especially from groups in the north like the Mongols. It also helped control trade along the Silk Road and showed off the power of the emperors. Imagine a wall so long and strong, it could guard a whole country. Now here's the myth. People say the Great Wall is so huge you can see it from space. Sounds epic, right? But astronauts say nope. Even though the wall stretches over 13,000 miles, it's actually very narrow and made of stone and earth that blend in with the land. From space, it just disappears into the background. In fact, cities, rivers, and even highways are easier to see than the Great Wall, so while it's one of the greatest wonders on Earth, it doesn't quite reach superstar status in outer space. Number 1. George Washington had wooden teeth. George Washington, the very first president of the United States, the guy often called the father of his country. He led the American colonies in their fight for independence and even has his face on the $1 bill. Pretty legendary, right? But there's one story about him that's not true at all. The famous wooden teeth myth. People say Washington clacked around with dentures made of wood, but nope, not even close. In reality, he did lose most of his real teeth, and he wore dentures almost his whole adult life. But those dentures were made of things like ivory, gold, lead, and even animal or human teeth. Yikes! So how did the wooden teeth rumor start? Well, some of his ivory dentures became stained over time and looked brown, kind of like wood. People saw that and assumed they were carved from trees. Imagine how uncomfortable actual wooden teeth would have been. Splinters in your smile. Here's a bonus fact for you out there. Did you know chameleons don't change colors to match their surroundings like little reptile ninjas? Instead, they change color to show how they feel, to send signals to other chameleons, or to warm up or cool down their bodies. A happy chameleon might be bright and colorful, while a stressed one could turn dark. So instead of saying, "I blend in," chameleons are really saying things like, "I'm mad," or "Check me out." Awesome, right? Well, that is it for today, kids. I hope you liked this one. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel. Do you want us to talk about a specific topic? Please send us an email. See you again next week. Bye.